Welcome to the Razor's Edge. Today we are chatting with Old Drake of British thrashers Evile. The band has gone through a few changes of late, but they bounce back next week with a new album, Hell Unleashed. Old tells us all about the new album, the lineup changes, and how Brexit is severely impacting the band's prospects of ever touring Europe again. Welcome to the Razor's Edge.
Thank you very much.
First off, I want to get it out of the way. How's the year in lockdown been for you?
Shit. It's just, I think like everyone else, it's just been boring as hell, but it's had a flip side for me because it's helped me to get loads of music done as well, and it got me on Twitch streaming as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, all good.
I think the last time I saw you, you and your good lady were at Testament in Manchester.
Yes, I remember. Yeah.
And she was heavily pregnant at the time, so the kids have kept you busy over the lockdown.
Yeah, very busy.
So on to Evile then. Let's get the lineup changes out of the way. You spent some time away from the band yourself. You've returned. Matt's now stepped away. He wasn't just your bandmate, he's your brother, obviously. So,
yeah.
What were your feelings when Matt decided to step back?
I think the thing is, we kind of knew it was coming because when I rejoined in 2018, the band hadn't really done any music. So the first thing I did was start writing music.
Yeah.
And the album was finished in like July 2019, and then it was a case of waiting for Matt to do the lyrics and the vocals.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen for maybe a year, so we waited, and it just wasn't happening because he didn't have the time, and I don't think he had the want to do it. So we kind of saw it coming. So when it happened, we would just kind of like, yeah, okay. Obviously sad, obviously not the most ideal situation.
Yeah.
But at least it allowed us to then say, right, we know where we stand, let's carry on.
Fair enough. So Matt was obviously the vocalist up until this point, and it's new ground for you taking over these duties. So did you ever consider finding someone else for the vocals, or was it always going to be you stepping up?
I wasn't the first thought or option. We definitely thought about getting someone new. It was just we know what metal fans are like, and when a vocalist leaves, it's not. I think that's the worst thing that can happen to a metal band in terms of perception of the band.
Yeah.
So we talked through it, and we thought that the best way to go about it would be to have a familiar face.
Yeah.
And instead of just a brand new face, and everyone's like, they'll just instantly say no. I'm not interested. I'm not going to listen. So Joel didn't want to do it. Ben can't play what he plays and sing those songs. So there was only 3 of us in the band at the time. So it was just, it's going to have to be me.
So how confident were you before you started that you'd be able to pull off that vocal role?
I'd say I was about 15% confident about it because I'd done backing vocals before. I can sing. I can sing normally and I can scream, but when basically I recorded the demo vocals, so the songs had my vocals on them anyway.
Yeah.
But when I recorded them, I could taste blood and it really hurt.
Wow. And
it was when it came to it, I was like, right, this isn't good because if I have to do this on tour, it's not going to go well. So I've learned a lot over the past year, so I'm a lot more confident now. I'd say I'm like 65% confident now.
well, obviously you've got it on record, so you think you'll be able to cope on the road as well then?
Yeah, I'm working with Melissa Cross, who's really helping me out on just keeping it healthy and learning how to do it properly. And I've learned so much in the past couple of months that I'm feeling a lot more confident about it.
Yeah, great. So you brought Adam in from Riptide as well. Obviously, they've got a growing reputation on the British scene. So, did you always have Adam in mind as that other guitarist, or was it?
No, that was the problem when Matt left and we decided I'd do the vocals. We didn't know anyone. Like, we wanted someone local and someone we know, and everyone in that category just wasn't there. And I did think of Adam, but he's in Riptide, and in my mind, it was like, well, that's what he's doing. There's no point. And Ben just mentioned, why don't we try Adam? So I rang him out of the blue, just said, hi. I said, can you give me your phone number? I need to ring you. And he was like, okay. And I rang him, and I was really strapped for time with the kids and everything. I just said, oh, hi, how's it going? Would you like to join Evile? And he just kind of didn't say much and said, can I call you back in 5 minutes? And then he obviously said yes.
So what was he doing in those 5 minutes, do you know?
Well, he was actually recording with Sean from Riptide. They were recording some new music, and I think they stopped recording then and stepped outside to like have a chat.
Okay, fair enough. So, let's talk about Hell Unleashed then. I think it demonstrates a massive progression in the Evile sound, darker, raw, more brutal. I think there's hints of inspiration from a Rise era Sepultura, certainly in Paralysed, and maybe some splashes of the big German thrash fans. Would you say that's fair?
Yeah, I would completely agree with that. I wouldn't say it's intentional, but Sepultura are one of my favourite bands, so I think it's just I couldn't help it.
I think it works well.
Thank you.
So with Matt standing back, did you approach the songwriting differently this time?
No, it was all completely the same. The intention was for Matt to do the vocals on the music anyway. So the funny thing is when it came to recording the album, and the style of songs are a lot more aggressive than we've ever done.
Yeah.
And we tried some different vocal styles, some like melodies in the vocals, like a bit more, not Hetfield, but a bit more of a hook, like melodic hook. And it just wasn't working. It did not work. So it had to be that linear, aggressive vocal. And if it was Matt, I'm not sure how it would have gone, because it wouldn't have suited the melodic kind of approach. So yeah, it's interesting. Yeah.
And did you time away from the band working on your solo project with like James Murphy and Gary Holt, etc.? Did any of those experiences help how you've progressed that sound now?
I'm not sure, because I treated the solo album as just a bit of fun, because I emailed Earache and just said thank you for everything you've done over the past 4 albums. And I had no intention of doing anything ever again. And he said, Digby said, we want to do something else with you. Do you want to do a solo album?
Yeah.
And I said, oh, I'm not interested. I don't want to tour anymore. And they said, no, we'll just release the album. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah. I said, no pressure. So it was just a bit of fun for me. So I technically didn't do anything in the 5 years other than have a bit of fun.
Talking of Earache, you were part of their thrash revival in the mid to late 2000s. So, and we spoke to Gamma Bomb in December about their experiences with the label. How did you get on with Digby and the guys in Nottingham?
It's funny because we've spoken to a lot of bands who have a different view on Earache, but we always got on with them. We had never had any issues with them, and we still have no issues with them. We got on with them. We listened to each other, through emails. We'd always take on board their ideas, and they'd do the same for us. And to be fully honest, we probably wouldn't be a band now if it wasn't for Earache picking us up back then. I mean, we might have just done another couple of years back then and just stopped, because Earache just took the chance on us, I think.
And that thrash revival really revitalised the scene back then. I remember being happy as a pig in shit with albums from yourselves, Short Sharp Shot, Gamma Bomb, Bonded by Blood, Savage Messiah, and the like. So, what was that era of music like from your perspective?
It was really cool because it was a bonus to be like named one of the bands that made it revive, but it was just cool to be part of something that a lot of people enjoyed at the time. It was great to be amongst all these other bands that were, I'm not saying starting something, but at least doing something towards a goal of making thrash relevant again. You know, it was very cool.
And would you say that thrash is now relevant again?
I think so, because I've been out of the scene for a while. Even the past couple of years being in Evile, we haven't gigged that much, so I think it's still alive and well. You know, you've got the Havocs and Warbringers and everyone, so it's still going strong.
Yeah. So you've switched to Napalm Records now. So how did that come about, and how have they been for you in this album so far?
They've been great, to be honest. The thing that I love about Napalm is they took a chance with us, because Matt was speaking to Napalm before he left, and I was speaking to a few other labels as well. But as soon as Matt left, all the other labels just lost interest. They were like, no, we're going to leave it. And Napalm were the only label who said, no, let's keep going. Let's still do this. And it's really cool of them to do that and actually take a chance on it. And, you know, to deal with them, it's great, because it's emails back and forth all the time. There's schedules, there's plans, and it's been really great so far. Yeah.
So moving on, after the world returns to normal, what are your plans for the band going forward?
Well, it's probably a standard answer, but write another album and tour and just continue. But everything's going to be really complicated now, because, like, if considering COVID disappears, we've got the problem of Brexit.
Yeah.
Which makes it extremely difficult for any English bands to enter the EU. I mean, it'll be okay for the rich bands and the bigger bands, but for the smaller bands, it's so expensive already to even consider doing it that we're just going to have to take it day by day and just hope that things get better, or else we just can't go there at the moment.
Yeah. So how badly do you think Brexit will affect the music scene, especially in the UK? Both bands going out, but also European bands coming over.
Really badly. I've been speaking to our booking agent and a few promoters that lots of bands don't want to play the UK anymore because it's too expensive. A lot of English bands can't play the EU because it's too expensive. And it's going to have to get to a point where the bigwigs will have to notice that this isn't working, and then they might do something about it.
Yeah.
Because at the moment, I think they're too short-sighted.
Yeah. And can you see the government actually doing anything to help the music industry in this?
I'd like to say yes, but I just don't have that feeling.
So you've obviously started up your Twitch stream during lockdown. Is that something you're going to now continue even as the world opens up again?
Yeah, I am. I started out just because I literally had nothing else to do. Yeah. Musically, I was writing Evile stuff, but the album was kind of finished, and then Matt Hafey from Trivium was on Twitch, and I thought, I messaged him like, how do you do this? And he just gave me a few pointers, and I tried it out, and it's really cool. It's so much fun to just interact and just jam to some songs or just chat. It's a really good medium. It's really cool.
Yeah. I don't get Twitch. I haven't even not just yourself, but I've not watched anything on Twitch or anything. So yeah, I don't know how it works, to be fair. So
it took me I'd say maybe 3 months to it finally click. Like, I get it now. I get what it's about. It's basically just YouTube live, and you interact with the person, and there's just some like incentives for people to subscribe to you every month, and you get like little benefits and stuff, and it's pretty cool. Yeah. If I was a 16-year-old kid and like Alex Skolnick back then was on Twitch, I'd have just been like 100% there for it, you know.
Yeah, fair enough. So taking a quick look outside of Evile for a minute, Who are you listening to on heavy rotation these days?
It's a pretty boring answer because I don't really listen to much new music.
Yeah.
Sepultura obviously are always in my rotation. Strangely, Frank Sinatra is as well.
Okay.
I've been listening to Havoc just because Reese is insane on lead guitar. And who's other? Amorphis. I recently checked out Amorphis for the first time, who were pretty cool. And other than that, it's just the standard metal answers of Metallica, Testament, and all that.
Yeah. So go on then. Why Frank Sinatra?
There's just something about his voice that I love, especially because I'm learning how to sing, even proper singing. There's just something about his voice that is like I just can't get enough of listening to. It's like he tells a story through his voice. It's just such a cool listen. Really good.
Yeah. Okay, I'll let you off. So, you say you don't listen to many live bands, but new bands, but the British scene is slowly starting to build momentum again. It's probably not quite at the level it was after you guys launched, but it's getting there. So, are there any bands that you've picked up on that the listeners should be checking out? The next Evile, if you like.
Well, Riptide are a very good band. I see a lot of Evile in Riptide as we were starting out. Shrapnel are a great band. But beyond that, honestly, I haven't had time to listen to much music.
Well, kids keep busy, don't they?
Yeah, definitely.
Right. That's the end of my questions for tonight. So I want to thank you for popping by and chatting to us. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you very much, Tim.
Thanks for listening. Make sure you keep up to date with future episodes by subscribing to our channels. For more information on this podcast, or for all the latest music news, reviews, interviews and more, head over to our website, www.therazorsedge.rocks.